Okay, so first off, I made this handy flowchart here in case you don't know whether you want to buy this game or not. It's basically as simple as that. So with Splatoon 2, Nintendo builds on the formula that made Splatoon 1 a success. Splatoon offers something that you can't find anywhere else, and I think that deserves a lot of praise. And not because it's unique, but because it's brilliantly executed and incredibly fun to play. If you want to focus on covering the map in ink, you can do that, and you can still top score. If you prefer to focus on killing enemies, you can do that too. And now with the addition of Salmon Run, there are ways to play that are fun for everybody, even if you don't like traditional shooting games. But as much as I like this game, I do have a few tiny little issues with it. And my first issue is you can't skip this stupid intro. When I load up the game, not only do I have to sit through the loading screen, I also have to sit through this stupid intro where they tell me what the maps are, and I can just go to the lobby and see what the maps are by doing that. I don't want to sit through this. Get rid of this. Let me skip it or speed through it or something. But I don't want to have to sit here and watch this every single time I load up the game or every time the maps change. My second gripe is the maps. The maps changing. Why is it on a 2-hour rotation? You have 8 maps in the game. Why do I only have access to 2 of those at a time? That's ridiculous. In the beginning, when you first get the game, it's kind of cool because you're like, okay, I can sit here, I can focus on these 2 maps, I can learn these, but after you've played the game for like more than 5 hours, you know all of the maps. So I don't want to play the same 2 maps over and over for 2 hours. I want to play all the maps in the span of 2 hours. And if you play ranked mode, technically you have access to 4 maps instead of just 2. But you only have access to 2 game modes. So with ranked, you know, sometimes I don't want to play Rainmaker. Sometimes I don't want to play Splat Zones. Sometimes I don't want to play Tower Control. And that means I have to wait 2 hours before I can play a game mode that I want to play. Why do you switch? Why do you do that? Why not just make it so I can play Splat Zones, Rainmaker, and Tower Control all at once? Like it just alternates between. Wouldn't that make more sense? Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that make it so your players are playing longer because they're not getting burnt out playing the same maps and the same game modes for 2 hours? I know I'd be playing longer if I didn't have to play the same 2 maps over and over again. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. My next complaint. No presets. And this seems like something that should have been obvious, but Nintendo neglected to add this. And I think that certain abilities will pair up better with certain weapons. So if you want to use a new weapon, not only do you have to exit out of the menu, go on to the customization tab, but you have to take off the weapon, you have to take off the clothes and put on new clothes and the new weapon. And it just takes so much time. Why can't I have a couple of presets set up where I just go, oh, I want to play with the roller. I already have my clothes set up here. Click that, boom, I'm done. That would be incredibly easy. And yet Nintendo refuses to do it for whatever reason. Give me a couple of presets, put them in the menu while I'm queuing, and let me switch between them if I want. It's that easy. My next problem with this game, no weapon customization. I can't choose my sub-weapons or specials. The argument against this is that, oh, if we do that, then the game won't be balanced. But you look at these weapons, okay? You look at the specials, and they aren't as powerful as they were in Splatoon 1. So I don't think you really have to worry about the balance of the specials because they're separate from the weapons entirely. So really, you just have to focus on balancing the sub-weapons. And if you can't do that, come on, it just seems like a cop-out to say, oh, we don't really want to bother with balancing those, so we're just going to put them on these weapons, so you can't use them with this. Why not just balance them all out, make them work out, and you'd be good. That's one of the great things about modern gaming, is if the developers don't get something right, they can fix it in a patch later. So even if they weren't sure that this would work, why not try it, get the information, and then they can make the adjustments as the game goes on. But as it is, it gets kind of stale because I have one weapon that I like to use. I like using the NZAP. And maybe some people would be like, well, if you want to try something else, just try a different weapon. But it's like, no, I like the NZAP. That's what I want to use as my primary weapon. But maybe I want to use something else as my sub-weapon or as my special. Why do I not have the option to do that? Because using something else is going to be overpowered for this combination? I think that's kind of I don't know. That's a lame excuse. Like I said, I think it's a cop-out. Balance the game, balance the weapons, and it shouldn't be an issue. And speaking of item customization, let's talk about the most important thing in Splatoon. The fashion, the clothes. So if you play this game, you know that each item of clothing you have comes with one main ability that you cannot change. Once you level up that clothing, you get a random sub ability. And if you're not happy with the sub ability you end up with, you can wipe those out and re-roll, or if you save up enough money, you can actually just get the ones you want. This is not an option for the main ability. If I want to use this hat, I have to use that ability with it. So, I don't understand Nintendo's reasoning for doing this. Initially, I was like, well, maybe they want to do it for readability. So if somebody has this hat, you know they have that ability. So there's no mistaking what they can do, what their ability is, anything like that. But it turns out you can actually order the same exact item on Splatnet, which is the Nintendo phone app. You can order this item on Splatnet, but it has a different main ability. So there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to manually change that ability, even if it costs me 200,000 coins. Let me change the main ability on my clothing so I can wear the clothes I want to wear and have the abilities that I want to have. My final gripe with this game is there's no split screen. Maybe this is a hardware limitation, I don't know, but considering Nintendo is the GOAT of local multiplayer, you would think they would have made an effort. Do what you have to do. If you have to reduce the FPS to 30 for split screen, that's okay. At least show that you made an attempt to do this. Because as it stands right now, the only way I can play with friends is if they have their own Switch. Which, considering how many there are out there, it's not very likely. And I'm not even going to bother trying to talk about online multiplayer because that's a whole nother beast in itself. Trying to play online with your friends, the voice chat, everybody knows it's a mess. Hopefully Nintendo knows it's a mess and it needs to be changed. But that's it. Those are my gripes. I got kind of ranty here. I'm sorry that I got ranty, but man, this game could be so great. There's just these things that would be so simple to fix, in my opinion. And it seems like they just didn't take the effort to do it. But even with all these shortcomings, even with all of my complaints, I still think Nintendo did a good job. I still think Splatoon 2 is a good game. I just wish they would have put a bit more effort into improving some of the aspects that players didn't like about Splatoon 1. Because these were all issues in Splatoon 1. And many players complained about it. So why not take that feedback and put it in the game? I don't know. You give more options for customization, you remove that 2-hour window on the maps, and I think that would have really helped take this game to the next level. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Always interested in hearing what you have to say. Was I too harsh on this game? I don't know. So let me know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all later. Have a good one, guys. Bye.